In this video, I'm going to review Louis Navellier's latest presentation called the Nvidia Shock of 2025. And this presentation is quite long, it's about an hour long, and you can read it as well. But I want to give you an overview because you need to pay attention to this, because what Louis shares in this presentation is basically the future of technology. It's going to be 1,000 times more powerful than AI, and basically we're going to see similar gains to when AI first hit and the dot-com boom, because what Louis shares in this is the final frontier in computing. This is going to take computing to the next level and AI to the next level, and it's going to print millionaires, billionaires, and probably a few trillionaires as well, such as this invention. So let's get on with it. So basically in the presentation, Louis talks about the advancement in computing. We started with CPUs, which are central processing units, which were just the basic chips which ran our PCs and game consoles in the 90s and the early 2000s. They did the job. At the time we were all amazed with what they can do, but in order to go to the next level, with AI, we needed another chip called the graphic processing unit, or GPU. Now these chips are what gave Nvidia its value, and it's the most valuable company in the world at over 4 trillion in market cap. And these chips power all of the supercomputers that are training the most advanced AI models on the planet. And everyone is going all in on AI. There's massive data centers being built all over the world, especially in America and China, because there's a massive AI race going on, and GPUs are absolutely key for that happening. Now, but this is where it gets interesting, because Louis talks about the final frontier and the last sort of huge technological advance we will see, and Nvidia has done it. The Nvidia Shock of 2025. Basically, they have created something called a QPU, which stands for Quantum Processing Unit. And basically what we're talking about here is quantum computing. Now, this, people have been talking about that, but a lot of people don't really understand it. But basically, to understand quantum computing, it's basically, definition of quantum computing is, what our current supercomputers with GPUs, can't solve, quantum computing can solve. Like, for example, the most powerful supercomputer on Earth can take billions of years to solve the most advanced, mathematical problems, whereas a quantum computer can solve it in 5 minutes. And that is basically quantum computing in a nutshell. And Nvidia's QPU chips will basically power this new technological revolution. This is not hype. Once quantum computing hits the mainstream like it did with ChatGPT, that is when quantum computing is going to take off. And sort of tech billionaires are already sort of shoving loads of billions of dollars into the companies powering this, including Nvidia and Nvidia's partners. This is basically a quantum computer here, something that Nvidia have made with their QPUs. And this, to understand what quantum computing is capable of, according to Louis, quantum computing is going to predict weather months, years in advance, down to the day and date, maybe the hour. It's going to find, quantum computing is going to be able to find cures for cancer and all of the diseases like we treat the common cold. It is just going to change everything for us. It's going to create new energy sources. And this is where it gets exciting, because once quantum computing is paired with AI, and quantum computers are training the next generation of AI models, that is when AI goes on steroids and we get basically artificial general intelligence and artificial super intelligence, and basically quantum computing and AI will merge. And yeah, you can only imagine how powerful this has been. This is really what Lou is hammering on about. You know, these quantum processing units that are going to power the supercomputers. You know, that it's happening now. All of this tech is coming together now, but no one's really talking about it. And then these supercomputers are going to train the AI models, and that is basically going to eventually get us to artificial superintelligence. And once that happens, all bets are off. It's basically going to turn industries upside down, because obviously cybersecurity firms, you know, if hackers are using quantum computers to nothing, you know, with quantum computing, everything is hackable, because these quantum computers are about to solve algorithms in seconds that just wouldn't be possible with a normal computer. It would take years. So quantum computing is going to turn many industries upside down. It will turn the pharmaceutical industry upside down, because it'll be able to create cures in days or faster, in minutes maybe. But, you know, took scientists decades in order to come up with it. It is going to be transformational, and this is why quantum computing is going to be the greatest technological frontier we've ever seen. And as such, it's going to create probably more wealth with anything else, especially when it's paired with AI. And this is why quantum computing is being created, to basically train the next generation of AI models. So basically, we reach artificial super intelligence. It's interesting stuff, but scary stuff, because, you know, the power, you know, the computing power is almost mythical. It's, you know, yeah, just, you know, off the charts. But quantum computing, you know, has basically got, you know, it's got a problem. Sorry, I'm just trying to find something here. Basically, quantum computers are extremely sensitive. They need to be in a very secure environment. They really only operate at absolute zero. There's all sorts of, you know, and the slightest change in atmosphere, temperature, noise, vibration could just basically make the computer results inaccurate. This, you know, scientists have been trying to solve this for over a decade or decades, but it hasn't been possible up to now. But basically, Nvidia has partnered with a company that has sort of helped create a QPU, or quantum processing unit, that has basically solved this huge problem. And quantum computing, you're going to be hearing a lot more about it in the next 6 months or so. So there we go. So basically, this is what it's all about. Yeah, you know, this is absolutely huge. So like I said, you know, Nvidia's partner has basically created a solution. And if you want to go down a deeper rabbit hole with all of this, because I've just given you an overview, Louis created a special report which basically you get for free if you try his, you know, growth investor, you know, advisory service. It's called Nvidia's Quantum Partner: How to Profit from the Next 150x Tech Breakthrough. You know, basically this company has basically created a QPU that is going to basically solve the biggest problems that quantum computing faces, and it's got 150x potential. I'm just sort of scrolling down here, and you get other reports, you know, as well. The quantum moonshot with 100x potential. Now I'm going to wrap it up here because I've pretty much given you all of the information. Oh, you get another report, the quantum moonshot 100x potential. So yeah, so if you wanna go down a deeper rabbit hole, I would highly suggest that you join Louis Navellier's Growth Investor. I've been a member for about 18 months, and I really love the service. Louis is a genius at picking, stocks that are about to, break out. And with quantum computing being huge, this isn't BS. This is really happening. Louis is a great person to follow and get, stock advisory and stock research from. So you want to get his special reports on Nvidia's partner and the quantum 100x moonshot, along with all of his other special reports. You can join for $49 for 6 months, and you get a 90-day money-back guarantee as well. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the comment and description below if you want to join his Growth Investor service. But my advice is I wouldn't sleep on this. Whether you join Louis' service or you want to research quantum computing yourself, quantum computing is the final frontier in computing, and it's going to return just as much, if not more, money to investors who get in early than early AI and the .com computing boom. So whether you join Growth Investor or you research it yourself or join another guru, financial guru, don't miss out on quantum computing because it could basically secure your financial future. It is that huge. So if you want to join Growth Investor, I'll leave a link in the comment description below. Get everything for free here just for trying your service. Risk-free for 90 days for only $49. So that's what I've got for you. Hope you found the video useful, informative. One or like, one or subscribe. Leave a comment below, and I'll speak to you soon.